Cory Devontae Williams, better known as CoryxKenshin, is a man who needs absolutely no introduction. He has been making YouTube videos for the better part of a decade and a half and has amassed almost 25 million subscribers by this point. I myself am one of his subscribers. To be completely honest, I wouldn't call myself an OG fan. I have been subscribed to him for about 6 years now. My first video from him that I watched being his playthrough of the game Night Shift. Since watching that video, I have been a loyal, devoted fan and have watched almost every single video from that moment on. Now, that is not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm actually here to talk about is this quality Cory has, which if you are also a fan of him or even know of him in passing, probably know what I'm talking about, and that is his tendency to just disappear. But to be more specific, I want to talk about the reaction around his disappearances. Are his fans, or as they declare themselves to be fans, warranted on hating on him for this? Is he himself warranted for just leaving for months on end? I mean, as I'm recording this video, he's been on a 2-month hiatus, his last video being the sponsored Resident Evil 9 video. Now, I myself don't think this is that big of a deal. In my opinion, he'll probably be back in like a month or two with a 9-hour-long full playthrough of RE9, which, to be fair, is a trend he's done a little bit more recently. And I honestly I really like those just long compilation videos where he just plays a whole game through. But that's not really the point, is it? The point is that this is not new. He has been doing this. And in this case specifically, it looks a little bit worse because it is just a sponsored video. Before this video, he had already been gone for about a month and a half, give or take. And then he comes back with a sponsored video and goes away again. While it is a thing that looks bad, in my opinion, it really isn't as serious as some people might try to make it out. First off, it's Resident Evil. Everybody who knows Cory knows that whether that video was sponsored or not, he was going to make a video on it. And like I mentioned before, he's probably going to do a full playthrough of it just in a longer video that will come out a while later. Secondly, there's the fact that Cory is a self-admitted, or at least I think it was self-admitted, multi-millionaire. He doesn't need the money. He's probably taking this sponsorship because, he just loves Resident Evil. He has stated before it is his favorite franchise, or at least I'm pretty sure he has. My point being that when he sits down, looks at the camera, and he says, "I don't go away and come back for money," I honestly believe him. Now, call that meat riding, call it whatever you want. There is really no real reason to not believe him here. I think he has just been doing this a long time, and like anything you do, you will eventually start getting tired. You will want to take breaks. There is also, and we will get more into this later, but the big projects he has undertaken. The big one right now, Monsters We Make, his whole manga, or I guess comic series, however you want to call it, is like the main thing he's been working on. And also another project he has stated he has been working on for months, if not years now, that he has been waiting to reveal. And now that I just thought about it, it would be pretty funny if he comes back again and it's actually just to reveal this project and people get mad at him again, which I don't think will happen for the reasons I will get into right now. And that is the backlash from Monsters We Make when he first unveiled it. To give a little background, it wasn't the first time he had gone away. His first actual long vacation, I guess you could call it, was 9 months long. And it was almost 6 years ago, which, damn, that makes me feel old. But when it came to the Monsters We Make announcement, he had been gone for over a year. His last video, not being a sponsored video, but sort of not feeling like one of his usual videos, I'd say it was just a reaction video to himself in the FNAF trailer, which, jokes aside, that movie, like, I don't care what you feel, in my opinion, that first movie was awful, and the second one was even worse. Anyways, getting back to the point, he had been gone for way longer than he had before. And not only that, instead of coming back directly with an explanation of what he'd been doing or like why he left, it was basically just a trailer for the thing he was doing, and little to no gameplay. Well, I guess he wasn't obligated to do gameplay, but you know what I mean. He didn't come back with the content people were used to, and it felt kind of like a cop-out, me included. Now, I am not one of those fans that is interested in the manga, but I do see what he's doing, and I don't shame him for it. I do not agree with those people that are like, oh, it's trash, he should just stick to YouTube. He is a person. He is a human. He is a regular guy. And, you know, like most of us, if you get to that level in your life like he has, where you have so much money, you can do basically whatever you want, wouldn't you want to follow your passion? Wouldn't you want to make your dreams come true? So I don't really think people are in the right when they fault him for that. I do think his execution was whack. I think everybody can agree with that. He could have done that way better than he did. But still, that already got a few of his fans talking, and the public perception on him was already shifting. Even if not directly or really like in a big way, it was starting to move. That's what leads us then to his next disappearance, which lasted about 3 months, maybe 3.5, give or take, in which he came back with his classic line, "Samurai stand up," and basically announced when the videos would resume. Also, he was apologizing for the fact that he had already made a promise to make 100 videos in a year and he probably wasn't gonna make it. His next video, however, was addressing the controversy. If you don't know, basically one of his ex-girlfriends basically came out talking about Cory and how he wasn't the, you know, nice guy he presented himself as in his YouTube videos, and was actually, maybe abusive is not the right word, but pretty mean, according to her, manipulative, all of that. I'm not going to go into a breakdown of that because frankly I just don't have the time and I don't care enough to. But that was the whole thing, and that whole video was addressing not only his frequent disappearances, but also addressing those allegations. So I guess not really allegations, but you know what I mean. And people this time did not take it lightly. Most of us, and I include myself because I didn't really care that much, went back to him with no issue. We just kept watching the videos. But that's when I started seeing the sentiment that he was a deadbeat, that Cory was a bum, that his fans don't deserve him. That sentiment was starting to grow more and more, and it culminated, it blew up into basically what I describe Cory Hate Week. Now, this isn't like a big event or something that happened in internet history, this is just something that happened to me, but for a whole like week, give or take, I could not stop seeing just hate on Cory. Whether it was Twitter, which isn't surprising because Twitter is just an actual septic tank full of shit where people just hate on everything and anything that exists within our common known world. But I also saw it on TikTok and other places, which surprised me a lot, and it actually got me to thinking. Before this, I had never really thought of Cory disappearing as like a particularly bad thing. Now obviously it did affect me, as pathetic as it sounds, because he is one of my favorite YouTubers and every upload from him genuinely makes my day. So for the times he didn't upload, obviously I did feel kind of bad about it, but I never hated on him or thought he was a bad person for it. But this was the first time I actually started to think about that and started to see the opinion from people. And then it got worse, because guess what? He disappeared again. This time it was for about a month, but it looked pretty bad because it wasn't that long ago he disappeared. He had just made an apology, addressed allegations about a whole controversy, and then he did it again with the stupidest thumbnail and title I have seen in my life, which still to this day makes me laugh anytime I see it anywhere. Funniness aside though, this was pretty bad for his image, because instead of Cory Hate Week, it was like month long just hate, constant, that I would see on every social media now, not just Twitter and TikTok. I saw it on YouTube and sometimes on the very rare occasion Twitch, and even rarer Instagram. People were just fed up with his shit and just kept talking bad about him, saying the previously repeated things, you know, calling him a deadbeat and all that, but just also saying that he was a horrible person, that he shouldn't be doing this to his fans, that we made him who he is. And all of this just led me to the discovery that people truly are not just parasocial, but irredeemably entitled. It scares me. Now, frankly, it doesn't scare me that much because, take me by example, let me break the fourth wall real quick. I know I'm not gonna make it big on YouTube. I really just do this as like a hobby. I just like to do stuff, whenever I have free time and talk about the stuff I care about. But it would scare me in the eventuality that to get fans like this, I can't even think of how many other public faces have to deal with stuff like this constantly. Where, again, you are a human. You don't want to do the same thing for the rest of your life over and over and over and over, especially if you don't have any real incentive to do it other than just to do it. And people will relentlessly shit on you for it. It is honestly crazy to me. Do I think Cory is perfect? Hell no. Do I think it's okay that he keeps leaving? Also no. Obviously, like I mentioned before, I'm a fan. I love his videos. I don't like it when he leaves. But I also don't like how people just completely switch up on a person just because they have a life. Because also, let's be clear about this. He clearly doesn't just leave because he doesn't want to do it. He has a life. He has a family. He has stated before sometimes he has to take breaks because he has to help his mom get through the situation she's going through. Or he has other projects, things he's working on that a lot of fans of him might like. So the answer is no. The answer to the title of this video is no. The hate for him is not justified, at least on this. If you hate him due to the things he might or might not have said in the controversy or any other stuff he has done, that's fine. But at least when it comes to him leaving and taking breaks, no. I don't think so. I think people are just parasocial. Since the moment he started uploading on the website, he hasn't had an obligation to anybody. He just did this because he wanted to, and he wanted to keep going. The fact that he's done it for so long and maintained this amount of passion for it where he still edits his own videos. Not like if you look at most YouTubers nowadays that are still going like Markiplier, which not to throw any shade at him because I think he's great. Not a fan of him, but he's great. Like, they have editors, they have people do stuff for them, and Cory still does his own stuff. That is rare to see. And to shit on him for being a human, to shit on him for just wanting to take time, to me is insane. And if you're doing it consistently, I'm sorry, bro, you probably don't have enough going on in your life where you can do this. You really need to check yourself and find more stuff to do, because this is just not normal. That's all I have to say on the matter, though. So thanks to all of you who stuck around, watched the video. I hope you guys are having amazing days, and I hope your day continues to be better. If you have anything to say, anything to provide, just leave it in the comments. I'll answer. And if I don't answer, it's because I just don't have anything to add. But yeah, I love all of you.